With Jurassic World on the way, you guys probably saw this one coming. And since we're completely fine with being predictable, we're sharing some things about Jurassic Park, the less good sequel, The Lost World, and the hopefully awesome reboot, Jurassic World. We're ignoring Jurassic Park 3 for obvious reasons.
Alan.
Here are 7 things you didn't know about Jurassic Park. Probably.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Okay, the OG Jurassic Park is a classic film, full of classic moments and groundbreaking special effects. But one of the hardest special effects to achieve in it was one that you wouldn't necessarily expect to be difficult. Yeah, the old water ripples in the cup gag. Classic shot, super hard to figure out. Ironically, this shot of the water was inspired by Earth, Wind, and Fire, as in the music group, not the, elements. See, Steven Spielberg was blasting Earth, Wind, and Fire in his car en route to a storyboarding session for Jurassic Park. The bass was shaking his rearview mirror so much that he was inspired to use the effect in the film. But creating concentric water ripples in a cup was a way harder effect to achieve than just shaking a mirror. Michael Lantieri, who was in charge of special dinosaur effects, finally figured it out one night while playing his guitar. He set a glass down, and while playing some notes, he found a certain frequency where the water in the glass did exactly what he needed it to do. To get it to happen inside the SUV, they fed a guitar string through the car, down to the ground, and then had a guy lie on the ground and pluck the guitar string. Next thing you know, boom, movie magic. Here's another thing that has to do with that sequence on the main road in the T-Rex paddock. Originally, it wasn't supposed to be raining. The rain was something that Steven Spielberg added really late in the game. The problem was Stan Winston hadn't designed the T-Rex or any of his animatronic creatures to get wet. The T-Rex was basically an enormous robot puppet made of foam rubber. So, once they turned on the rain machines, he started absorbing water, which made him heavier. The extra weight screwed with his movements, which were all calculated to the T-Rex's weight while dry, throwing all of his tolerances off. As the shoot wore on, the T-Rex would start to get the shakes from the water weight. The puppeteers would have to towel him down between takes to stop the shaking. Aww, what's the matter, T-Rex? Are you cold? You got a little shiver? Jurassic Park was released on June 11th, 1993. Well, guess what? Jurassic World will hit theaters on the same exact date 22 years later. Kind of. Almost. Okay, technically, the US release date is Friday, June 12th, but you know how it is these days with the advanced screenings and all that crap. There'll be plenty of superfans seeing it Thursday night on the 11th, which is the legitimate anniversary. Plus, the official release date is indeed the 11th in Serbia. So there.
That is one big pile of shit.
It's been a long time since the last installment in the Jurassic Park franchise, which again, we are ignoring. And it turns out, so is the director of Jurassic World. Director Colin Trevorrow says that Jurassic World is a direct sequel to the first film and won't really acknowledge Jurassic Park 3, or even The Lost World. And while the T-Rex in Jurassic World is reportedly the same T-Rex from the first film, the only human cast member coming back from any of the past films is B.D. Wong. You might have forgotten that he was even in Jurassic Park because he's barely in it, despite his inexplicably prominent screen credit. Seriously, Samuel L. Jackson had to share his with Newman, and both of them were way more important to the plot than B.D. Wong was.
What species is this?
It's a velociraptor.
You know what? Let's just move on. Did you know that the ship that brings the T-Rex to San Diego in The Lost World is the same vessel that brought Kong to New York City in King Kong? Yep, it's called the SS Venture. And borrowing that boat name in The Lost World was one way they were able to pay homage to Kong, the original movie monster. But it seems pretty clear that we need to sink that boat once and for all so we can avoid any more disasters with these giant monsters terrorizing our cities. I'm just saying. With a movie as huge as Jurassic World and an equally huge marketing campaign, it's a given that toys are going to be part of the package. In this case, it's Legos. The Jurassic World Owen Lego figure will actually mark the 3rd time that Chris Pratt has been Legoed. Or Legoized. Lego-fied? Sure, Lego-fied. There was the Lego movie, which was kind of a no-brainer, as well as the Star-Lord figure for the Guardians of the Galaxy Lego set. And they're using the same headpiece for the Jurassic Park Owen Legos as they did for the Star-Lord Legos. Which I guess is Lego's way of saying, yeah, you know what? We're phoning it in, but f*** you, you're gonna buy the toys anyway. Even though Jurassic Park is more than 20 years old, the special effects still look really good. Like, really, pretty good. But it's easy to forget how much the film pioneered computer-generated animation and effects. After all, it was made in the early 90s, and because of that, the filmmakers had always planned to use stop-motion animation for any shots of the dinosaurs running, or in wide shots, and then use the animatronics for the rest. That was the way it had always been done, once again, going all the way back to King Kong. But Industrial Light and Magic sent Steven Spielberg a tape. Yes, an actual tape. Again, it was the 90s. Anyway, this tape showed a test of some fully digital gallimimus just in their skeletal forms, running through a still photo of Hawaii from different angles. Spielberg took one look at the test and knew immediately that movies would be done that way from then on. The next test ILM did was of the T-Rex, and everyone was blown away again. Ultimately, they developed a hybrid system called the Dinosaur Input Device, which bridged the gap between stop-motion and digital animation. The DID allowed a stop-motion armature to use motion encoding to translate everything a puppeteer animated into a computer model. The Gallimimus stampede, as well as the final showdown between the T-Rex and the Raptors, were still scary to shoot, though, because they didn't know if what they shot would work, and they wouldn't know for several months. It was uncharted territory from a filmmaking standpoint. Unlike the earlier sequences with the T-Rex on the main road, this one relied exclusively on CG dinosaurs. Ultimately, Jurassic Park wound up with just over 50 CG shots, which was unprecedented at the time, but not very many at all by today's standards, since pretty much all of our action movies are cartoons now. There are your 7 things about Jurassic Park. Let us know in the comments if you think the special effects still hold up, and if you also think perhaps CG effects are overused today, because that's totally what I was getting at with my last point. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out Cinefix.com and subscribe for more true-ish things about movies, and sometimes BD Wong, which in addition to a character actor is also the name of my wiener, right here on Things You Didn't Know.